This is a lesson for one of the poems in the literature component. The title is A Poison Tree by William Blake. This is the poem, A Poison Tree by William Blake. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. And I watered it in fierce, night and morning with my tears. And I sun it with smiles, and with soft deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. Information: A Poison Tree is a poem written by William Blake, published in 1794 as part of his Songs of Experience collection. It describes the narrator's repressed feelings of anger towards an individual, emotions which eventually lead to murder. The poem explores themes of indignation, revenge, and more generally the fallen state of mankind. Form: it is written in quatrains. This straightforward grouping of sets of 4 lines is one of the simplest and most recognizable poetic forms. The poem has 4 stanzas. Each stanza consists of a pair of rhyming couplets in a regular repeated pattern AA, BB. Example from stanza 1, friend is A, N is also A, and then foe is B, and grow is B. Language: the vocabulary is simple. Now let's look at the meaning of words. So we have the word wrath. Wrath means extreme or great anger, fury, often marked by a desire for vengeance. Foe means enemy. Water is poured water on plants. Sun means to provided sunshine. Deceitful, dishonest behavior to make people believe things which are not true, full of misleading lies. Next we have wiles. Clever tricks a person uses to get what he wants, trick or to get someone to do something. Bore, produce fruit to carry or to give birth to. Beheld, look at or saw, perceived or noticed. Veiled, covered with something to hide something partly or completely. Pole is the North Star, which is the star that is above the North Pole in the sky. Next, let's look at the meaning line by line. Stanza 1. I was angry with my friend. So, I was angry with my friend because we had a misunderstanding. Or you can say the persona was angry with his or her friend. I told my wrath did end. So I told my friend about my wrath. I got over my anger. I was angry with my foe. I was angry with my foe or my enemy. I told it not, my wrath did grow. I didn't tell him about it, so I bottled up my wrath or my anger or my resentment, and it intensified. Intensified means it grew. So it is growing just like a tree. Stanza 2. And I watered it in fierce. I nourished my anger, or I nourished the tree as I was suspicious of my foe. Night and morning with my tears. It means you feel the anger daily. So in my resentment of my enemy, I also cried because of the word tears. And I sun it with smiles. So I tricked my enemy by smiling at him or her. And with soft deceitful wiles. Outwardly I smiled and I was friendly so that he or my enemy would trust me. For stanza 3. And it grew both day and night. It means that my poisonous tree grew because it was full of anger, hatred, and suspicion. Till it bore an apple bright. Later it bore a shiny, poisonous apple. And my foe beheld it shine. My foe or my enemy saw the apple and was attracted by it. And he knew that it was mine. He knew the apple was mine. Stanza 4. And into my garden stole. The foe or the enemy came into my garden and stole my poisonous apple. He fell into my trap, and he ate the apple, when the night had veiled the pool. So the night was dark with no stars. In the morning glad I see. In the morning I was happy to see my enemy. My foe outstretched beneath the tree. He was lying dead under my tree. So the setting place is in the persona's garden or under the poison tree, and time is in the darkness of night or the next morning. Point of view, the poet uses I in the poem, so it is the first person point of view. Tone, anger, bitterness, and maliciousness. The persona is extremely angry with his foe. As his anger intensifies, he becomes scheming and murderous. Accusing, the persona accuses his foe of stealing his apple in his garden at night. So the moral values, remember that you have to write we should or we must. Number 1, when there is a misunderstanding, we should talk about it to resolve our differences. Number 2, we should not harbor ill feelings against anyone. 3, when there is a misunderstanding, we must forgive and forget. 4, we should not bottle up ill feelings, which is bad for us and those around us. Now, let's look at the themes. First, we have managing anger. Harboring ill feelings against someone like anger, the basic human emotion, sets the events of this poem in motion. Although it is not necessarily wrong in itself, how we go about dealing with anger is extremely important. If we nurture our anger, it might grow and be harmful to us. In this poem, 2 ways of handling anger were shown with different outcomes. In the first scenario, the anger disappeared, but in the second, the anger grew into something aggressive and negative. Next will be importance of communication. The poet or the speaker communicates a different moral lesson to the reader about the disastrous consequences of his own failure to communicate with another person. If the persona had communicated with his enemy, his anger would have been controlled. However, his refusal to communicate has allowed anger to become something that is very destructive. If we talk, the anger might just reduce and it might just ease our troubles. In turn, it will prevent us from causing hurt onto others. Next, we're going to move on to the questions and answers. Okay, what emotion is expressed in stanza 1? So answer is anger. Which word in stanza 2 and that has the same meaning as dishonest? So the answer is deceitful. What happened to the persona's foe eventually and how did the persona react to it? So the persona's foe eventually died. He was glad or happy to see his foe or enemy outstretched beneath the tree. What would you do if you had a misunderstanding with your enemy? Suggest 2 ways. So answer will be I will talk to my enemy and solve the problem, or I will just ignore my enemy. Next questions. We have in stanza 1, what happened to the persona when he did not express his anger? Answer will be his anger intensified or his anger grew. In stanza 3, what did the apple refer to? So the apple referred to the persona's anger or hatred for his enemy. In stanza 4, why did the persona feel happy? He felt happy because his foe fell into his trap, or he felt happy because his foe died under the tree. In this poem, the persona was happy with his foe. If you were the persona's friend, what advice would you give to him? So, advice 1, I would advise my friend to speak honestly to his foe so they could clear the misunderstanding between them. Second advice, I would advise my friend to forgive his foe because being angry would only hurt him and his foe. The next set of questions. Number 1, what did the persona do when he was angry with his friend? He told him his wrath and the wrath was gone. In stanza 2, how did the persona allow his anger to grow? He wanted it fierce and sun it with smiles and deceitful vows. In stanza 3, what does the word it refer to? So answer is the persona's anger, or the poison tree, or the tree. If you were the persona, would you have been glad to see your foe outstretched beneath the tree? Give a reason to support your answer. Yes means that you are glad because he had done something bad to me. Or you can say no because we could have forgiven each other's mistake. Next, in stanza 1, who is the persona angry with? So the answer will be his friend, his enemy, his foe. Choose only one answer because the question is who is. Second, which word in stanza 1 shows the persona is similar to an apple tree? Answer will be grow. Okay, the question is asking for only one word. In stanza 2, what does the word it refer to? So the answer will be wrath. How would you feel if you had a misunderstanding with your friend? Explain. Feeling, answer will be I will feel upset, I will be sad, or I will be unhappy. Explanation, because I have no one to talk to. Which phrase in stanza 1 has the same meaning as kept his anger to himself? So the answer is I told it not. What did the persona do to ensure that the tree grew healthily? He watered it with tears, he sunned it with smiles, he sunned it with soft, deceitful vows. In your opinion, how did the persona feel that morning? The persona felt happy, the persona felt excited, the persona was glad, or the persona was contented. Do you agree with the persona's feeling? Give a reason for your answer. So the answer is no, because it is wrong to kill someone. Okay, next. In stanza 1, which word has the same meaning as enemy? So the answer is foe. In your opinion, what does the apple symbolize in the poem? Answer is hatred, or the fruit of hatred. In stanza 4, which line, so the question is for a line, shows that the sky was dark when the night had veiled the pole? Putting yourself in the persona's shoes lists 2 ways you can resolve a conflict that you may have with your enemy without hurting one another. So there are 2 answers. So you can write, I could talk about the conflict with my enemy, I could just ignore the conflict, or there are other answers like, I could get a friend of my enemy to tell him about my anger. In stanza 1, what did the persona do when he was angry with his friend? So he told his friend about it. In stanza 3, what does it refer to? So answer is anger, tree of anger, or apple, tree. Which line suggests that the persona's enemy noticed the apple, and my foe beheld it shine? So this is the line. Number 4, anger management is very important. Give 2 reasons to support this statement. Okay, you can write, we will not easily become angry with someone if we learn how to manage our anger. Okay, and the next one you can write, we will not bottle up anger, which can be hurtful to us too, as we will feel stressed or anxious. We have come to the end of the lesson for the poem A Poison Tree. Okay, I hope you have learned from my video, and then please do subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.